So there you go. Now let's hear a little bit of the notch filter. So I'm going to move up. Notch filter setting right there in the center over here on my filter. And then we're going to move the frequency cutoff all the way up and then all the way out to the middle. You can take a look at the scope over there. And I'm moving it down. This one was really hard to see as far as I could tell. See there, I'm just kind of moving across the whole range. Not really seeing that much. Yeah, and as I said before, in my tests, I wasn't really seeing that much as well. I tried a few different things, like for example, switching up to maybe the higher frequency band. I'm going to switch the right one on our spectrum up to 20K. Let's try to do that cutoff again. So I'm moving up. I guess there you can kind of see it if you look at the right one over at the scope. See how the kind of dip is moving? Because basically what the notch is doing is it's letting highs in and lows in, but then it's got a little dip in the middle where, like a notch where sound does not go through. So there you have it. That's the notch filter. And then if I move all the way clockwise, we should now be hearing a high pass version of this. Let me switch my oscilloscope back to where I had it before, or my scope. And now let's move cutoff all the way down. Okay, and there we're getting pretty much all the frequencies. So if I move it up and up, we should start to hear kind of a sort of very kind of brittle, kind of high-endy type sound. And eventually what happens is, right about there, start to get only high frequencies coming in. And if you were to look over on the, let's see, the left scope this time, you can kind of see that the low frequencies are kind of, well, fairly low, yeah. Almost non-existent as far as our sound goes. But if you look on the right scope, you can kind of see that a lot of our high frequencies are coming in from pretty much about 2.5K all the way to the top 10K. If I were to switch this over to, let's see, a 20K range, you kind of see right there on the right side. And then now if I move this back, just keep your eye on the right side one. I'm going to stop right about there. You can kind of see that on the right side over on the spectrum. And now we're just back to ground zero, so to speak. Okay, so that is the low pass and high pass and notch. Now I did mention, let's see, I think it was in the basics video, how this notch filter idea we kind of touched upon in one of the previous videos, actually to do with the phase shifter over here, because this actually has a series of notch filters. So I wanted to kind of hear that, or wanted you to hear that as well. So let me patch that in, and let's see if we can get this some sound so you can kind of get a point of reference for what a real phaser sort of sounds like. And I think I may need to switch up my cables because this one is not actually long enough. Yep. So let me get a second cable going over here. It's taking my saw wave, going over to my phase shifter, and then out from there over to the multiples. So that's kind of our phase shifter. And you can see how that kind of sounds a little bit, although this one is way more extreme in its effects. And it's even easier to see on the scope over there. So if I move from top to bottom, you can kind of see. Okay. So that in a nutshell is this first demo where we looked at the low pass, high pass, and notch filter of the A106-5. voltage controlled filter. Hopefully you'll join us in the next video segment where we look at the bandpass filter. After that video segment, I think what we're going to do is maybe do a little bit of modulation before we sort of turn the corner there, and then kind of do a little demonstration between the comparison of these two filters to kind of hear how they might sound similar or might sound not so similar. I'll leave that for you to decide. So at any rate, I want to thank you again for watching, and keep on patching out there.